Hi, my name is Josh, and like a lot of you, as we're dealing with the coronavirus, we're worried about the limit of facial masks, the ones people are wearing out there. And most of them are like this, and they're not very effective against the virus. We're looking for the N95 mask, but there's a limit to them. Now, I know a lot of you like to do DIY hacks, and like me, see if you can come up with a solution on your own. So I did some research into air filters and found that many of them, like this one, actually have a rating for viruses and bacteria. That was kind of interesting. Did a little looking into it. The N95 is fairly good at like 0.03 mic, right around this level of containment. Now, the filter this company has, they actually have ones that go down to the ultrafine particles. And from a lot of the research I've done, this should probably stop 99.9% of the bacteria that comes through. Very, very effective. The viruses are smaller than the pores inside this mask, but due to just slowing down the mass and stuff like that, they can trap viruses. Now, I'm not an expert in this field. I'm not too sure all the details, but I'm going to kind of put that up to the internet to find out how to correct me. They do make a higher quality material filter, and those are available pretty much everywhere. Any hardware store, any place that has an air filter. I think you can get these at Walmart. You can probably get the higher MERV levels or MRP. This one here is rated at 1900 MRP, and the MERV 12. And I think you really want like a MERV 16 if you really want one of the crazy, really high filtration ones. Also, because it's making this flat instead of curved, there's probably some more science in there that I'm not an expert on, and I don't pretend to be. This is to be a very, very quick video of me taking one of these apart, building something like this, and showing you how to do it too. So that's all this is. I don't know if you really need a video of me taking apart a filter. It's a chunk of cardboard and some metal. There's a little wire mesh here. It seems pretty glued together. We'll see how much I can destroy here off camera. I've pulled back the cardboard here. You can see there's just a little bit of the filter material and the mesh, and taking the rest of it and just separating it. Might smash material around the edges. I don't know if you want to make that the premium material you pull it from, but it comes apart pretty easy from there on in. As a quick public service announcement in here, the wires in here are a lot more pokey than you realize, and they can easily nick you, so be careful. Maybe wear gloves. Don't do this at home. It's a DIY video? I don't know. Well, there is significantly more material in there than I was expecting. They have got quite a bit. This was a 20 by 25 piece, and as you see, I've got just all the material I need. I can't actually believe you can get this much filter material for 20 bucks. That's pretty awesome. So I'm going to play around with this and cut off a few small bits. So I cut out a reasonable sized piece. There was quite a bit in there, like I said. I showed you before, but there's probably plenty for a dozen or two masks in there. Here's a standard face mask, and I'm going to try to replicate this. I'll probably, like I said, use these springs, cut it out here. Got a little piece of wire here. I can kind of bend like here so I can replicate the nose shape, and I'll glue that in. I got a little bit of glue in the glue gun. This should go pretty easy. I also have a chunk of foam. I'm going to try to put this around the nose or areas. With the mask, one thing you want is you want to have a good seal. These do not have really good seals, and even the kind of squarish ones you see don't have a really good seal. These are mostly made for keeping construction dust off your face. And the other ones, doctors wear, mostly for keeping sneezes out and drips when you're working or operating on somebody. This here in the N95 mask, you really want a close cut to your face. I probably will not have a picture of me holding this against my face. You can play with this. You'll see what it takes to modify it and bend it, and we'll play around cuts and see what comes up. And if that works, then you'll have to do it yourself. One warning: you are using hot glue. Don't try to put it against your face when using hot glue. I know this is a really half backside instructional video, but it should be obvious. If you're working with hot glue, don't realize you're working with hot glue. Don't try to glue it while it's on your face and stuff like that. I just see all sorts of horrors, and I don't have an official disclaimer don't do any of this. This is all stupid. You probably shouldn't be listening to me. Go do something else. That's probably all important things to say at this point in time. Big one though, the only dangerous thing here is the hot glue. Well, scissors maybe for some of you, but the hot glue. So be careful when using that. Don't burn yourself. Also, one other point to note, the air filter I chose is made out of polypropylene fibers and other plastic fibers instead of glass. You may want to make sure that whatever filter you're using isn't made of fiberglass. That may not be good to have against your face. This is the polypropylene though. It's a plastic. It's pretty common. You should be fine. Experts on the internet will probably tell me I'm wrong. Listen to them, not me. One thing I've noticed from a couple tries is that this is very hard to cut cleanly and consistently. So due to the material being very wavery, so I am using some tape, and I am just taping it down so that it is straight, and I'm going to do tracing off of that. If you don't, it's all very variable shape there, and it's hard to get a straight line. Looking at the size of the mask, it's about cupped. It's about the same size as my hand. If you put your hand over your face, you'll see that's about the same size. I'm going to trace an area about the size of my hand, trying to make it consistent, and then I'm going to cut lines in there so I can close it up so it has more of a cup shape. And that's at least my first experiment with this. I imagine we'll figure it out a little better down the line. I cut this piece out here and I fit it to my face, and it fits pretty good, but I realize these areas tend to go up by my eyes as I fit it around my nose. So I'm going to just trim a little around there, and I'm going to see how well it fits after that. And I think you're going to have a chance to play around. Everybody's face is a little different. I know I normally wear a size large respirator. I've been fit tested for that. But this seems to breathe really well, so we'll see how it goes after that. To get this to fit mask shape, I've got some areas I can cut, fold over into get that shape. So I'm going to experiment a bit with those. I'll probably take some cuts with a scissor and use the hot glue gun to get a little closer, and hopefully I can get this to fit and cup around pretty easily. I don't think there's going to be too many problems with that. While I'm waiting for the hot glue gun to warm up, I'm practicing looking at little folds I can do so I can get the cupping right. I've got this little fold right here in the nose. Seems to match the filter pretty well. It's pretty small actually, just a little tiny fold over like that. And I'll just put a little dip of hot glue on each side and do that, and then I'll just follow that all the way around until I get the right shape. In fact, if I get just a little bit right there, pull it down. Again, it's hot. Don't do this at home. And there we go. And what's the jingle? A little dab will do you. Careful. Probably shouldn't do this because it is hot, and you get glue squirting out of here. You'll probably burn your fingers and it'll hurt. And you know, like everything. Don't do this at home. Don't do what I'm doing. I'm stupid. Imagine if we cut this right here, you could probably just overlap them and only need to use a little bit of hot glue there, not glue it twice like I am. Probably would look better. You're probably more professional at it than I am. But now I've got a little bit that fits the mask. Let's go around, tighten this up, we'll go from there. Well, one thing I just found out is if you use a full temp hot glue gun, it can melt the plastic in the plastic filters. So might have to switch to a low temp glue gun if I can't get this one to work well, or just be very quick with your glue drops on there and keep it from melting through. I didn't see that just right, but we melted the filter right there. To get good coupling, I'm going to try cutting this one and then gluing it. Again, just a little bit because you melt it, I guess, and try to burn yourself. That gives you more aggressive cupping under the chin. So, but so far, hey, we're kind of mask shape. So I've put a couple pleats in there, used a little hot glue, and like I said, melted it in a couple places. But I've got a pretty face-shaped mask thing. Now again, you want to have a really good seal, so I'm going to put that little piece of metal in here, and like I said, I'll probably steal the strap from this. Another option for playing around with this is you could just, to glue, I'd probably say Elmer's maybe at this point, instead of the hot glue, and get this connected all the way around, and then use the underlying strap. This might be a little better against your face. I don't know how good this plastic mat's going to handle against your face. But if you have a good face seal, and that's a big issue, the N95 masks have a really good face seal. Play around with this, get this to fit, but for the most part, short of running into issues with the glue melting the material, it looks like you can build a face mask out of a 1900 or I think this says MEV or MEVI 12 material. And I don't think the other materials are going to be much different than this. Again, I imagine you probably don't want to use the material that's made out of fiberglass. You probably want to use the plastic ones, which will tend to melt when playing with the hot glue gun. I know they make low temperature hot glue guns. That might be a smart choice. But as a hack, I think we've got something doable here. There, you can make a face mask type cover and make it out of the same filter material that's in your house. Might give us a fun option. That's about that.